Hello dear students, I am Dr. Rajkumar Deepak, Assistant Professor, Department of Medicine in GMC Betia. Today the topic for discussion is dysphagia. So first of all, definition of dysphagia. Dysphagia, it derives from two words. First is dys, that is the English word, means difficult or disorder. Second one is the phagia, that is the Greek words, it means eating or to eat. So the difficulty in swallowing is called dysphagia. What is the odynophagia? It means painful swallowing. Any painful swallowing is called odynophagia. Then introduction. What about dysphagia? About 50% of patients with difficulty in swallowing have a mechanical obstruction. The remainder have a motility disorder such as achalasia or diffuse esophageal spasm. So what is the type of dysphagia? There are two types of dysphagia. First one is the oropharyngeal dysphagia. Second one is the esophageal dysphagia. In oropharyngeal dysphagia, patient complains of difficulty in initiating a swallow. It associated with coughing, choking or nasal regurgitation. In esophageal dysphagia, patient complains of sensation of food getting stuck in the esophagus. Before starts with the causes of dysphagia, we must know about the mechanism of the swallowing. What are the phases of swallowing? There are three phases. First one is the oral phase, that is the voluntary. Second, pharyngeal phase, and third one is the esophageal phase. Both of them are involuntary phases. So any disease that impair the phases of the swallowing leads to dysphagia. So comes with the phases of dysphagia. First, the oral phase. In this phase, food moistened with the saliva and the tongue pushes food bolus backward. So comes to the next slide. You can see here, this is the first phase, that is the oral phase. In this phase, bolus of food is pushed backwards. At that time, upper esophageal sphincter closed. In the second phase, this is the pharyngeal phase. In this phase, first of all, tongue blocks the oral cavity, you can see here, and the soft palate blocks the nasal cavity to prevent regurgitation, and epiglottis blocks the larynx and to prevent aspiration, and the third is the upper esophageal sphincters opens to push the food bolus into the esophagus. In this process, the respiration is primarily suspended. And third one is the esophageal phase. In this phase, upper esophageal sphincter recloses and the food goes into the stomach by the esophageal peristalsis. So what are the causes of oropharyngeal dysphagia? It categorized into three groups. First, the neurogenic cause, second is the myogenic cause, and third one is the structural cause. In neurogenic cause, it mainly cerebrovascular accident, CVA, Parkinson's disease, motor neuron disease, brainstem tumors, Guillain-Barré syndrome, multiple sclerosis, and cerebral palsy. It leads to sudden onset of dysphagia. In the myogenic causes, myasthenia gravis, polymyositis, mixed connective disorder, etc. In the structural causes, see here the Janker's diverticulum, neoplasm, any neoplasm of the oropharyngeal region, cervical wave, cricopharyngeal bar, osteophytes, radiation injury, or corrosive injury, or any infection of the oropharyngeal region leads to dysphagia. What are the causes of esophageal dysphagia? It also divides into main two categories. First one is the motor disorder and second one is the any obstructive or mechanical disorder leads to esophageal dysphagia. In motor disorder, patient complains of dysphagia with both solid and liquid. It may be intermittent and it may be progressive. If the dysphagia is intermittent, you suspect esophageal dysmotility, gastroesophageal reflux disease, diffuse esophageal spasm. And if the progressive type of motor disorder, first is the achalasia and second is the scleroderma. In obstructive causes, in this phase, in this disorder, patient complaining of dysphagia with solids more. It may be non-progressive or progressive. If non-progressive, it means either rings or waves and esophagitis. And if the progressive type of obstructive lesion, it means that is the stricture or cancer. Then how to evaluate a patient with dysphagia? First of all, history, onset, as you know, duration, progression, severity of symptom, type of few, already explained, and any alleviating factor. Then thorough clinical examination is also important to rule out oropharyngeal type of dysphagia, like complete head and neck examination, cranial nerve examination, and third one is the blood investigation to rule out any complication of the dysphagia or electrolyte imbalance. Then radiological examination is important to know the cause of dysphagia. First is the plain X-ray. Here plain X-ray for the any foreign body, to know about the foreign body, barium swallow, video fluoroscopy and fiber optic endoscopic evaluation of swelling. It mainly for the motor disorder or oropharyngeal dysphagia, and CT thorax or neck for the any cancer or for staging or treatment plan. And second is most important, the upper GI endoscopy. It mainly for the esophageal dysphagia for diagnostic and therapeutic purpose both. Third one is the manometry. It is for the motor disorder. 24-hour pH monitoring, endoscopic ultrasound, this is the new one, and the histopathological examination. Then how to start investigation? When mechanical obstruction is suspected, endoscopy is useful initial diagnostic test, since because it permits immediate biopsy and or dilatation of stricture, mass or rings. When a motility disorder is suspected, esophageal radiography and or video swallow study are the best initial diagnostics. So mechanical obstruction, endoscopy is initial diagnostic test, and if motility disorder is suspected, barium swallow or esophageal radiography is the initial diagnostic test. So it is the picture of foreign body. You can see here in plain X-ray neck or chest. This is the dentures and this is the pin. Some picture of barium swallow. This picture is the achalasia, typical finding. It's a bird beak appearance. You can see here. This one is the dilated esophagus, and this one due to the non-relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter. So appearance is bird beak like appearance. If it is severe, leads to sigmoid esophagus, very dilated esophagus. So it is a typical picture of achalasia. This one is the picture of diffuse esophageal spasm. You can see here it is a corkscrew like appearance, so it also called corkscrew esophagus. This picture is the, you can see an irregular filling defect in the esophagus. It means it is due to CA esophagus, carcinoma esophagus. And this one is the rare thing, that is the dysphagia lusoria. It means diagonal indentation here, diagonal indentation of the esophageal wall at the level of the third and fourth thoracic vertebra. And most important is the upper GI endoscopy. You can see here some pictures. You can find the causes of dysphagia, that is the peptic esophageal stricture. You can see here associated with ulceration. Some ulceration is here and some scarring is here in the distal esophagus. This picture you can see here, this is the typical eosinophilic esophagitis. In this picture you see here multiple circular rings of the esophagus creating a corrugated appearance and an impact grape at the narrow esophagogastric junction. The diagnosis requires histopathological examination. In the histological finding, you see the more than or equal to 20 eosinophils per high power fever. So it is the also a cause of dysphagia. Another picture you see here, these are the variants of esophagitis. First one is severe reflux esophagitis, you see here with mucosal ulceration and friability. Second one is the cytomegalovirus esophagitis. Third one is the herpes. You can see here multiple shallow ulcer, you can see here. And fourth one is the candidial esophagitis, the typical finding, that is the whitish plaque adherent to the esophageal mucosa. Another picture you see here, this is the Sajaki rings, a ring mucosal of mucosa localized to the squamocolumnar junction. You can see here this is the ring at the squamocolumnar junction, and this is the picture of barium. You can see here, this is the hernia, this is the picture of hiatus hernia, this is the diaphragm. Another picture of the esophageal wave. In the endoscopic view you can see here thin membrane protruding from the anterior esophageal wall, and in this waves, unlike ring, often incomplete encircle the esophageal wall in the wave. And this is the barium picture, you can see here. This is also another picture of the endoscopic. This is the nerving of the esophagus, you see here. This is also a picture of endoscopy. You see the normal esophagus, you see here, and the another four picture is the abnormal esophagus. See here, food debris is present in the esophagus, tight lower esophageal esophageal junction, and this is the erosion mucosa, and this is the dilated esophagus. Some another picture you can see in endoscopy. There may be foreign body found. Here is the paraesophageal hernia, and this is the picture of corrosive structure, and this is the carcinoma esophagus. The nodular friable growth you see here in the esophagus. This is the picture of carcinoma. So endoscopy is the very important for the diagnostic of the mechanical type of dysphagia. So next investigation is the manometry. What are the indication? Manometry indication, the first achalasia cardia, diffuse esophageal spasm, nutcracker esophagus, hypertensive esophageal sphincter. You can see how to do manometry. This one is the normal manometry view with the normal peristalsis. First upper line is the upper esophageal sphincter, second is lower esophageal sphincter, this is the esophagus with the normal peristalsis. In the eclasia there is the absence of peristalsis. Another two picture is the for the nutcracker esophagus and the diffuse esophageal spine. See the 24-hour pH monitoring. In this, you insert a pH monitoring catheter in the gastroesophageal junction for the pH monitoring. Next one is the endoscopic ultrasound. It mainly used for dysphagia due to carcinoma esophagus for TN staging. It also used for biopsy taking and the staging of the CA esophagus. Then comes to the treatment. What is the treatment of dysphagia? First of all, what is the goal? Goal is to maintain adequate nutritional intake, to maximize airway protection, to treat underlying causes. So, in oropharyngeal dysphagia or any dysphagia, feeding strategy is very important. First, the